This Amateur Radio Roundtable. All right. Perfect. Oh, hey, welcome to everybody out there. Did we catch you by surprise, Katie?
Yeah, you sure did.
I think it will make the show that much better, you know? Hey, guys, welcome. It's Tuesday, September the 12th. September the 12th, Tuesday. And man, boy, wow, time is flying by. Hey, I'm operating solo here tonight. I'm kind of lost. Kathy's not here tonight. She's gone to her big yearly thing, you know, like us hams go to Dayton. She's got a deal that's twice a year up in Paducah, Kentucky. It's a great big sewing deal. And, you know, we think Dayton's big with like 20,000 people. This sewing deal, they have like 50 to 70,000 there. I mean, it is a big deal. So she's up there, so I'm trying to press all the buttons myself here tonight. I don't, you know, I'm going to get it. I may be a little slow. We got guest on here tonight. We got Emmett with us later in the show. He got some kind of surprise. I don't know what that is. But, hey, just a couple things. Hey, guys, I got me a Signal link in today. I ordered one. There we go. You know, we give a bunch of these away as prizes on the show. I bought one this week, and I want to get on digital. I saw Joe in the chat room here talking about FT8 and so forth. Well, I don't even know where to start. I did some digital stuff about 40 years ago, but that probably wasn't really called digital. It was really slow digital. But so, you know, hey, I got me this to play with, and you know, we're gonna be getting on some of the digital modes here pretty soon. Welcome to all of our listeners out on WBCQ on 5130 kilohertz on shortwave station WBCQ up in Monticello, Maine. We're so happy to be on that radio station, and if you're listening out there tonight on WBCQ, you can join us on our webcast. If you have internet access, you can go to W5KUB.com, and you can join us in video, and also you can join us in our chat room. We got some shack pictures at the end of the show tonight. Let's see what else is going on here. Hey, Katie, remind me later. I want to talk to Emmett about this tape measure. I think I found a problem with it. Remind me.
Okay.
My reminder is not here. So,
I'm writing it down now.
Yeah, you're writing it down. Very good. Thank you. So let's see. Boy, any other announcements? Oh, if we got any new people joining us, please click on the link above that says Facebook. Join our Ham Radio Facebook group. We'd love to have you in our Facebook group. We've got over 6,000 people now, and it's just a great place for Ham Radio Hangout, and you can also see what's going on with the show and where we're going next. And that's going to be about it. So let's jump right into you know, the lineup here, and let's see what we got going. First of all, Katie, thank you for helping us bring the show in so lively at the beginning.
Thanks for suddenly putting me on camera when I wasn't expecting it.
You never know. You never know when the camera's going to get you, right?
Yeah, I should know better by now, but apparently I'm a slow learner.
Well, yeah, I tell you, as much as you do it, the camera will get you sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just it's inevitable. It will get you, and wow.
At least I don't mind being a goofball in front of people. So
yeah, you know, I think, let me get your name up here. I think, you know, I think people like to see goofballs on here. Maybe we should have a show one night about just goofball stuff.
Isn't that every week?
You know, maybe we need to cut the goofball stuff out and have a real show every three weeks out of 4, right? Oh well.
Yeah, at least, yeah, that's no fun otherwise.
So tell us, hey, tell us what you got planned for us tonight. What are we going to do tonight? Who are we talking to? And let's go to it.
Tonight we are talking with my friends Chris, KD8YVJ, and Jocelyn, KD8VRX, who were they were selected for the Dave Kalter Memorial Youth DxPedition. There they are.
Yeah.
And I'm still seeing Chris's chin.
Yeah, seeing his chin a little bit.
There you go. Sit up straight, young man. Well, I am very happy to have you guys. Oh, Tom says my volume.
I got it.
Okay. I met these guys. Gosh, it's been almost a few years now, I believe, and we see each other regularly at all the big shows and keep in touch. Offline of shows, and have gotten to be good friends with the whole family. And so it's been really fun to watch Chris grow as a ham over the past few years and all of the neat things he's been involved with. And one of the things that people may not realize is he just had a birthday. I think, was it on Saturday? Sunday? Thursday? I knew it was recently. So happy birthday to you. And I will spare everyone and I will not sing happy birthday to you. But because that just, then everybody definitely would stop watching the show. But I'm really hoping that what you guys are going to talk about tonight is your recent experience down to Costa Rica for the Youth DxPedition. And I'm just wondering, first off, what made you even decide to apply to hopefully get chosen, which obviously you ultimately did? There's a whole application process to there, isn't there?
Yeah, there was a form on the website, and it was funny because we were talking to we had our Christmas party last year. And we were talking to JK4ZLE that does on a bunch of the expeditions. And Christopher jokingly said, hey, when are you taking me on one? And he said, you should apply for the YDXA. They're going to Costa Rica, I believe. And he's like, I'm not sure when it opens up, but I'll let you guys know. And that's kind of how we got the application process started.
Very cool. Did you know it was going to be in Costa Rica when you applied?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, did you already have you must have already had a passport since you have family up in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So at least you didn't have to worry about, all of that rigmarole in a short. How much time did you have for planning between when you found out you were going and then the actual trip happened?
Oh, we found out, I would say, late June, July.
That sounds about right.
And we didn't go till August, so we had some time. And to your point there, Katie, of the passport, yeah, when you apply, there's a criteria that they want you to answer, basically, like, have you traveled international? Do you have a passport? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure they use that as a weeding out process of, okay, who's ready to go? They've had problems in the past, so that's kind of one of their what they do now. Okay. But yeah, we certainly had time to plan ahead and meet some of the local people at the DARA group that are organizing the YDXA. So yeah, we had plenty of time to get everything squared away.
See, to me, I'm thinking that's not a whole lot of time to get things squared away, but maybe that's just the girl in me, thinking about planning a trip. But now, and I know because we saw you at Hamvention this past year when you came over to the booth and took over the microphone, and one of your friends from the DxPedition joined you. Who are the other guys that were chosen to participate with you?
So the other guys, we had Austin, Whiskey Alpha 8, Charlie Sugar, and Bryant, KG5HVO. Bryant does CW. He's pretty good. He can do about 40 words a minute or so.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah. And
holy cow.
Austin's a tech right now, studying for his general.
Okay.
He really wants a 7300, but we're not gonna let him have it. And yeah.
You gotta get your general first, right?
Right.
So are you gonna give him one if he gets his general?
Me? No.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I would keep it for myself first.
Oh, all right, good deal. So, well, that brings up a question then. Since you guys were operating out in Costa Rica, and obviously, I guess a good chunk of what you were doing would have been DX, since it's a DxPedition. How did that work for him as a tech? Was it just so he had was his dad there as his control op, or how do you work that?
Yeah, that's how it went down. His dad's an extra, and Austin's done a lot of contesting with their contest group, so he knew how to run pileups and stuff. Right. It was mostly his dad was there to help Elmer. Not Elmer, but make sure he's following all the rules and everything's going correctly.
Correct, and as you said, somebody pointed out on one of the clusters that always a techie shouldn't be working in this portion of the band, but we are in Costa Rica. We don't have to follow the FCC guidelines. They have completely different guidelines over there. Their FCC equivalent allows more privileges. And as we said, his dad was there as a control operator. I was there as a control operator, and we had 3 other radio guys, all extras. So everything was well covered.
Right.
Well, I mean, when I think about it as a tech, to have that opportunity so if he's been doing some contesting at home and then to have a chance to do that, I mean, that's really getting some amazing operating experience under his belt, and really, I guess, giving him a great opportunity to learn a lot more. And so what did you learn from being down there and being on that side of a pileup, Chris?
Let's see. There's a lot of things. One of the big things that changes is propagation, especially. Mm-hmm. So it would be weird. We would point, we had a log periodic, so we'd point it right in between North America and Europe, and we'd just listen, and then all of a sudden, like, North America would disappear, and all the Europeans would flood in, and then they would start dying down, and then North America would flood back in. So it kind of just went back and forth until they both died, and then you waited probably 20, 30 minutes, and then all the Australians and New Zealand started coming in.
That's cool. Did you talk to some countries that you had never talked to before under your home call?
I know Austin talked to Oman, and he was so in the zone. It was so funny. We're like, you just got Oman. He's like, okay. Didn't even realize it. And then afterward, we're like, you know where that is? He's like, no. I'm like, right there. And I point to it. He's like, whoa.
Yeah, I bet. I don't think I've worked Oman before. That's a tough one to get, that's for sure. But I guess down there. Now, for Jocelyn, how about you? Did you dads get a chance to get on the air, or is it purely just for the kids?
Well, the objective is to get the kids to be on the air as much as possible. Myself and Chris, Austin's dad, got in. I think I had a whole total of like just over 50 contacts. I think Chris, Austin's dad, got under 10.
I think 5.
Yeah, 5.
Right about.
But basically what we were trying to do is we would only take relief if like the kids were eating or there was a bathroom break or something. We'd jump in just to keep the frequency.
Right.
Okay.
But the objective was for them to work the radio as much as possible.
Right, and I think that only happened maybe once or twice. It didn't happen too much.
Right. Well, I bet once you sat down, you didn't want to get up because it's so much fun, right?
Right. Well, eventually your throat gets dry, you need food, you need to use the restroom, and you're kind of like, I need a break.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that usually the hand goes up and somebody goes, okay, I need somebody here.
Right.
Did you use a voice keyer, so some of your basic replies or CQs, so you didn't have to use your voice constantly?
We did. We had a 7300, and we did the voice keying on that. So each person had 2 macros. One was CQ, one was QRZ.
Okay.
And then that was for each operator, youth operator, I should say. And then we also had a 718, which did not have a voice keyer, but Bryant was doing CW on that rig, and he has, I think it's an MFJ, and you can program it to send.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That's great. Yeah. We use it a lot when we're contesting. And yeah, it's really, I tell you what, it's really handy. At the beginning of the contest, you don't use it because you got the adrenaline pumping and you're just kind of going. And for me, I always screw things up when I try to use the voice keyer until further on in the contest when my voice gets tired, and then I'm like, all right, I'm ready, and push the button to, to work on it. So I totally get that. That's super cool. So you took, and I know you guys hit some weather where you couldn't operate at all, so you had to go do some sightseeing or something. Do you have some photos of that as well as from the your operating time that you're going to show us tonight?
Yeah, so we had a 7-hour storm. One of the people was telling us it never rain. It only rains once in Costa Rica, but it lasts 9 months.
Oh my gosh.
So we had a 7-hour storm come in, and every time you'd think you were good to operate, you would hear another lightning strike.
Ugh. That must have been frustrating.
Yeah, it was frustrating because it was on Saturday, which was, one of the prime days because, everybody's home for the weekend, and and it was from our time, Costa Rica time, which is the same as Mountain Time, was 1 to 7 at night.
Oh.
1 to 8. Sorry, it was 8 hours. 1 to 8. So it was like prime window that we just basically couldn't operate.
Right. So, but we came back. We made 1,000 Qs in 20 hours. So.
That's awesome. So I'm curious. Did your dad tell you that I got on the radio to try to make a contact with you?
I think he probably did, but I was so in the zone. I'm like, I'm doing my thing.
Well, the funny part about that was I got on the air and couldn't figure out what was going wrong until, I'm sending a message to Dwayne. I'm like, what am I missing? Because he's been programming the shack, and we've got a bunch of things for different antennas and what have you. And I said, they're on 17 meters. He goes, we don't have an antenna up for 17 meters. I took it down when I put the 30 meter up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
I remember that now. Yeah, he was telling me about that.
Guys. I'm like, what a dork. So I was kind of bummed I never got to you guys, but or even heard you at that time, because I would think when you were on. There was a couple other times you were on maybe 20 meters, but there was just no propagation up here to Wyoming, which is kind of a bummer.
We only worked maybe 1 or 2 Wyoming. We didn't get a lot, so
we
did manage all 50 states though. So
nice, you got a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Super cool. So what do you got to show us tonight? You got a little presentation about your whole trip for us?
I do. Let me see if I can get it up and running here.
All right, go share your screen and let's see. So wait a minute. So your birthday was last Thursday, or it's this coming Thursday?
Last Thursday.
All right. And what'd you hit? 15?
Yes.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
Is it working?
Okay. Getting there. Joe K0NEB said he managed to get a contact with you.
Yeah, I think he got 1 or 2 with us. So.
Oh. Let's see. It looks like it's trying. Are you seeing anything, Tom?
No, I'm not. All I'm seeing is a little clock. Let's see.
In the wall.
Yeah, I mean.
Do you want me to try it again?
Yeah, I can see. I see Chris and I see you. I see the clock running on his desktop. So you might try again.
All right, hold up. Let me try it again here.
Okay.
Are you starting with the video or the pictures?
All right, let's see.
Oh, hey Chris, if you run a video, we're not going to have sound.
Correct.
Okay.
Not if you want to do a video.
Yeah.
Are you doing a share desktop?
Yes.
Okay.
Hang in, everybody. We're trying, just in case anybody's
trying.
watching and wondering what's going on.
While we're waiting, I'll just put the camera on Katie, and she can make funny faces and stuff.
I can do that. Well, I can tell everybody real quick. At the end of this month, on September 29th and 30th, HRO Superfest is happening at the Milwaukee store on Good Hope Road. If you check out the Milwaukee HRO Facebook page, there's an event there for all the information. And Yaesu is sponsoring and donated the grand prize of a Yaesu FT991A, which is pretty awesome. And their local Boy Scout troop is going to be cooking food for refreshments as a fundraiser for their troop. Emmett's going to be there with RadioWavz, as well as a ton of other manufacturers. It's a 2-day event. There'll be a lot of the local clubs will be there. And so there'll be a lot of neat things happening. So it's the 29th and 30th of this month at the Milwaukee Ham Radio Outlet.
Cool.
Well, there was a commercial. Should be fun, and I'm really bummed that I'm going to miss it. Nothing like your social media manager can't go to a big event, but unfortunately we already had our vacation planned and tickets purchased, so we'll be actually on our way home at the tail end of it, coming back from our trip.
Well, Chris, I don't know why your desktop's not coming up.
I don't see him anymore either.
All we're getting is a clock on your desktop.
It looks like
we'll try calling you back here in a minute if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll hang up. Let me call you back so I can add you back to the call, okay?
Sounds
All right.
good.
We'll try that, and we'll see if that will work. Okay. So I'm gonna hang up
Alright.
with you, and I'll add you back to the call.
All right.
Hey, Ruth is here. Hi, Ruth. Cam4LAO. I see everybody's making messages here. They're all they're on the
Where is he? I don't see him. It's
the Bill
the.
C row. I
The.
wonder if they were just having. Maybe he has to reboot or something.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not there. Okay. Well, let's just give him a second. We'll try again.
Okay.
We'll tell them in the chat room. I don't know if they're looking at the chat room, but
Yeah.
we'll try to connect here again. I didn't see him listed as online.
Yeah. I wonder if they had. I wonder if he decided to just reboot his computer. Maybe something got goofed up.
I don't know. All right, let me try to add him again.
Doobie doo. Let's see. Oh, John. John, KC7DRI asked if HRO had a cardboard stand-in of me yet. That way I can make every event.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny, John. I'm going to try to put together an event down at the Denver HRO at the end of October. Been talking with Clayton, our K3CRS, our manager down there. Dwayne's got a meeting down there, and so I thought, well, hey, maybe I can go down and hang out with the folks down there and do something fun in my area. So, well, it looks like we might be having some luck.
Hmm.
Maybe. Oh, yes.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hey. I think we're back.
Yeah,
There you
you're
are.
back. All right, you're back.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. You're back. Let's see if you can bring your desktop up now.
All right.
Well, desktop.
Well, Chris, I don't think it's going to work.
What is it? A PowerPoint or something?
Yeah.
I wonder if I should drop out temporarily, if that makes a difference.
I don't think that's going to make the difference. It's just we're not. I mean, I'm seeing him fine. It's just he can't switch to his desktop.
Right.
Why? Can you just? Have you opened up PowerPoint and then which way you doing it?
I have PowerPoint open right now. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
running, but I have it open.
So then you click share screens.
Yeah, and it should just show.
Yeah, normally.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're-
All right. So let's do this. I'm not sure what to do. Oh, I'm gonna leave this up to Katie to what we're gonna do.
I can send
Here's
you.
an idea. Do you have some of those photos that are just as photos, like in a folder? You could just show it that way instead of a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
See if you can.
I can try that.
See if you can.
Yeah, let's-
I don't even. It appears you can't even open your desktop. That's the problem.
Right.
So
I could drop you the PowerPoint file.
I don't think
That
we
might
have.
take too long.
It'd
Yeah.
take too long
Plus,
to do it.
Tom's operating.
So let me ask you a
solo.
question. Have you got another computer you can get on real quick that has Skype?
Yes.
Yes.
Dad has one.
Do you have the PowerPoint on it?
It's on a thumb drive.
It's on
Okay,
a thumb
okay.
drive. We'll get it over.
Why don't you guys get on that, and we will go ahead and move on with a little bit of a couple things. I'll make some announcements and a few things here, and we'll come back with you here in 5 minutes, okay?
All right, sounds good. I'm gonna mute my mic here.
Okay.
All right, good idea. Dale and Don are like,
All
"Go
right,
ahead,
so I'm going to
Katie,
hang
dance
up,
again."
and hey, I don't know if you're in the chat room or not. Let us know when you're ready, and or I'll try you in 5 minutes, okay?
Okay, yeah, I'll have the chat room
Okay.
up and running.
All right, we'll see.
All right.
Okay, so
All right. Well,
let me
as
close
someone
that.
says in there, the joys of a live show, these things happen.
Yeah. Now I can't get them
Now you
off
can't
here.
get rid of them.
I can't get rid of them. I can't get rid of them.
Kathy, you're not
maybe,
allowed to come back.
Maybe they'll drop off here in a minute. Let's see. Yeah, don't you love live shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh well. Okay. So, hey, anyway, we'll try it again in a minute, and if it didn't work, we'll just move on. But
Right. Sounds good.
all right, let's see. I'll be back in just a minute. Everybody just hang in here with me. Heard it, worked it, logged it. Contest season is here. ICOM's high performance and innovative transceivers will help you make the most out of the contest season. Continue your contesting momentum with the IC7300. Ideal for the ham on the go, it's a high performance HF transceiver with a compact design. It has RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and an SD memory card slot. The IC7851 will give you the competitive edge you've been looking for. Raise the bar and hear what others cannot hear with this HF through 50 MHz transceiver. Features include reciprocal mixing dynamic range, a clear crystal local oscillator design, a spectrum scope, dual receivers, and digital voice recorder. Don't forget about the IC7700 and the IC7600. Both of these top-of-the-line transceivers are still available and are sure to be the perfect companion for this contesting season. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios. Okay, well, Katie in the chat room, I saw one comment. They want you to dance again. Let's see. I would have to have music. Would have to have music to that, right? You know.
Yeah.
No,
I think when he's trying to do the mashed potato or the fire sprinkler or whatever that's called, you know.
The water.
That one there, yeah.
The water sprinkler.
And of course, you know, from the old days of my dance days, where that's
the water. That's the water sprinkler. Have you ever done that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the mashed potato.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. Let me see here. Okay. Hey guys, just real quick. Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana Hamfest, Saturday, September 23rd in Cincinnati. The Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky Hamfest. You guys ought to go to it if you're in the area up there. So I get that out of the way. Hey, I got a couple of shack pictures. I'll do them real quick here. Let's look at a couple of shack pictures. Let's see what we got here. I was going to usually do these at the end of the show, but we're going to do them right now. Hey, John Hyatt, KC7DRI, sent us this.
Hey, John.
He's from, how do you pronounce it?
Coeur
d'Alene, Idaho. And I think he's probably in the room right now. Hey, he's got an
He's the one that said there should be a flat cate or, a cardboard.
Oh yeah, okay. Hey, KX3 there, HF through 6 meters, and he's got him a Radio Shack. Looks like a HTX 212 mobile. Hey, he's got a signal link. Like I got a signal link here. He's got some realistic handy talkies there, an Astron VS35 power supply. So that's our friend John Hyatt, KC7DRI, who's in the room there. And then here's one right here from Sean McKee. Now, he didn't send me his call, so I don't know where he is. But he sent me a nice email and said he just passed his general test on September the 9th. That was 3 days ago. So congratulations to Sean there for getting your general license, and I know you'll enjoy that. All right, so let's see. Any more announcements I've got here? Oh. Yeah, if we've got any listeners on WBCQ, you can join us on W5KUB.com and you join the chat room and join the video. Anybody new that came in on the website tonight that missed the opening of the show, we'd like to have you click on the Facebook link up at the top of the page and join our Facebook group. And that's about it for announcements right now. Let's see if they're ready. I wonder what name they're going to use.
Let's see. Previously, they were using the call signs.
Well, I see Jocelyn's on here. I don't know if he's. Did they say he's going to be on his laptop?
They are going on his laptop.
All right. Well, I'm going to try him.
Still in the chat between the two of them.
I'm going to try to add him real quick. Let's just see if they're ready.
He might be trying to get that off of the. I wonder if he was trying to run it off the thumb drive, if that was giving him the problem.
I don't know. Let's see.
That could do it sometime.
Sure. And Jocelyn. Okay. Let's see if we can add him. I don't know. I may be calling the wrong number.
Hello.
Hello. Did I call the right computer?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yay.
Cool. Okay. I don't have any picture from you.
Yeah. You want me to send video?
Well,
Yes,
you don't. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. This is a TV show. There we go.
There
okay,
he is.
we
Yeah,
see
there
it.
you go. Yeah, it works
Okay,
better on
so we've
YouTube.
got you guys
Hold on.
back on. That was quick.
We're
So
slowly moving things around here.
so let's see. Oh, yeah. That's interesting. You got on that computer and you got on the left side of Katie. You were on the right side earlier.
Yes. I don't
Okay.
know. My computer's fancy.
Yeah. So let's see if you can share your desktop.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the most important thing. Now share screen. Start sharing.
Looky there. It's working.
Yay!
Ta-da!
It's working.
Ba, 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 ba.
Da-da-da-da,
All right.
da-da.
So all right. So that's good news. We've got it. Everybody, stand by a second.
Hey.
All right. Okay. So we've got it. Go right ahead,
All right.
Chris. It's your show.
All right, so
Now,
this was
now
our
let me. Okay, hang, Chris. We
Yeah.
need to get the little box. Let's see. Maybe it's on my end. Let me see if I can get that little other box out of the way.
Oh, that's us. I got
Is that
it.
you? Can you? There you
There
go.
we go.
Perfect. Okay.
Good job. All right.
Sorry about that. All right, so this was our TI-5 expedition. So we have 3 ops. We have Bryant, KG5HVO. He did CW and sideband. He's 13. He currently lives in Alabama, and he's a general class op. He was just announced that he will be the youth pilot for the Bouvet DxPedition, so part of their off-island team.
That is super cool.
Here's
Yeah.
Austin. He's our sideband op. He's tech. He's 16, and he lives in Vandalia by the Dayton airport.
Oh, that's handy.
This is me. I'm 15 now. When I was 14 when I did the presentation. I live in Westchester, Ohio, and I'm a general class.
Very good.
So this is us. We had just landed, so we're taking the Turismo van back to the QTH. And this is us arriving at the QTH.
Wow, that looks super nice.
So I don't know if you can tell, but right behind here is the
Yeah.
radio room.
Oh, okay.
So that's where we did all our operating.
Oh yeah, I see some rope strung around the
Yeah.
column there behind you. Yep.
And then this is us. We're setting up a vertical here that was sponsored by DX Engineering. So we're putting in the mast and making sure it's level.
It looks like you're the one working and everybody was watching.
Yeah, well, we couldn't find a level at first, so I used my phone as a level, which did not work well.
Oh.
But then we found a level, so it was okay.
It looks pretty level.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
So then me, Bryant, and Austin started measuring out radials. We made about, what, 40?
40 radials.
40 radials, and they were 20 or so feet, 12 feet,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. So once we made them, we got all the connectors on, and we put them on the ground plate.
The radial plate.
The
Yeah.
radio plate, sorry. And there's KVRX, unaware that his picture's being taken.
No, I'm saying look in the ground, and then you'll see on the next slide what I was pointing at.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see your hand now. Okay.
Yeah.
Little pointer. Because we had one of these creepy crawlies nearby.
Oh, what is that?
That is a spider, and that's the radial wire that you see next to it, and one of the clamps to hold down the wire.
Yeah,
That thing is huge.
It is huge, and you can't see, but yes, we didn't know if it was poisonous or not.
We didn't want to find out.
Nobody wanted to find out, so we were keeping an eye on where it was going and try to basically shoo it away. I think somebody finally got tired and just stepped on it. But yeah, as you were laying the wires down, and the kids were helping and were stringing, and all of a sudden this thing pops out, then everybody kind of goes, okay, careful where you're putting your hands.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It also climbed up Austin's leg, but he was wearing pants, so it was all good.
Yeah, he was able to shake it off.
Oh, good.
Seriously, shake it off.
Yeah.
So here now you can tell it's a lot foggier because we're in the mountains, so the clouds come in and you can't see, so you can barely see Chris, Austin's dad, and our team leader Jim in the background. So, and then there's me. We had a tilt mast, so we were just making sure it was all going up. So here's the vertical when we finally got it up.
Yeah, and you can see in the background some of the clouds. The morning were clear, and then they would get foggy real fast. But there's pictures of that later on.
Okay, cool.
So we set up our antennas, so it's time to operate. So you have Austin on the right at the 7300, and Brian at the left on the 718.
Right. Now, quick question for you. This house that you're in, is that somebody from the team's house that they let you use, or what's the scoop with that place?
So Brian and Rose were the two people that lived there. Byron. Sorry, I thought maybe I said Bryant there. I've been doing that for a while. So they let us stay in their house and operate for 5 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the owner of the house is, or the person that lives there is Byron Swaney, and you can see his call sign there in the by the hutch, Whiskey Alpha 8, November Juliet Romeo, and he actually lives in the Cincinnati area, and he moved to Costa Rica a few years back. And he's kind of trying to turn this into a, where people can go for expedition if they want to do DX from Costa Rica. Basically, there's a fee, but you can rent the shack and operate from there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's great. That'd be a great vacation.
So here's another picture of me and Austin operating at night.
Yeah. Very cool.
Then here's Bryant doing CW, and I don't know if you can see here, but it had buttons, so you could do your CW, or your CW, push the button and it would save it.
Oh, okay.
And that was great, except on the way back through TSA.
Oh.
That was not so great.
Not TSA, but as we were leaving, the Costa Rican equivalent of the TSA, we're very curious what he had in the bag and what it was for.
Oh, okay.
I guess they don't see a lot of CW keyers in the day.
Right. So did they confiscate it?
No. He was able to explain, and Brian's dad was able to explain also he was the one that probably had more Spanish than all of us combined, so he was able to explain to them, and they were fine. They were kind of scratching their heads thinking, Morse code, really? But
yeah.
But it was all good.
Oh, good. Very cool.
So there's me operating on the 7300. And then everybody was doing chores.
Yeah. So we had a good team. There was 3 kids. We, as Christopher said, Chris, Austin, and Bryant. And everybody was not afraid to roll up their sleeves and help out. So the kids helped out, the parents helped out, and we made our own meals, and we all had a good time, and everybody got along. So it worked out very well. We had a very good team.
That's great. So do you think you kind of forged some friendships that will probably continue on well past this?
For sure. I see Brian in the chat room. So hi, Brian.
Oh, good. Oh, hey, Brian.
Yay. And so I just kind of measured it to the VOA when I was doing the presentation at the club. It's about 2,000 miles away or so from my house, so a little far.
Just a bit.
just a teeny bit.
Yeah, it was an all-day adventure. We started early to get there and layover, and then flew in, and it was a long day, but it was fun. It was a good time.
So there's the QTH, so you can see the vertical over here, and then the log periodic over here.
Right.
So there's just a close-up shot of the vertical and a close-up of the log periodic. This was the back porch area.
Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah.
I bet the dads were hanging out there for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, during our off break. And then over here behind here is where we slept.
Oh, okay.
Me and Kitty at VRX.
Yeah, the sun woke us up every day. We never got jet lag because we were up at 5:30 every morning.
Okay.
So, but when you have a beautiful sunrise and you can see the Pacific Ocean from your bed, you can't really complain.
Yeah, there's the ocean out there.
Oh wow, look at that.
So here's another picture with the fog in the valleys.
Yeah, we were about 3,300 feet up or so. So we were definitely high. We were worried that it would be hot, and we never got really hot because we were so far up in the mountains. And you can see the picture doesn't do it justice, but there's a lot of elevation changes throughout there and mountain ridges and stuff.
And if you look on Google Maps and you do the 3D, it kind of helps a little bit.
So that's when it's clear and beautiful in the morning, and you can see very far. And then the fog rolls in, and the view disappears. It is
holy cow!
you couldn't see 20 feet in front of you. It was very very interesting, and the temperature drops obviously. So 75 to 78 is what we were experiencing during the fog. When the sun was out, we'd be in mid 90s for sure.
Yeah, and it would be weird because you wouldn't be able to see. You'd be able to see all the way, a couple 30 miles out, and then you couldn't see 10 feet in front of you, so it was weird. And then this is the place we had, we went out this night, and we went to dinner here. And
I see mojitos. That looks good to me.
Yeah. It's a little cafe or bistro.
It says Restaurante Cubano Azucar, so that's the Cuban restaurant, Sugar Cuban Restaurant is what it's called.
Did you have a Cuban sandwich?
Yes. If you change the picture. Oh, I want to take a picture of the menu because you get sticker shock.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because
so what's the translation of money then?
Their currency is colones.
Okay.
And I think it's like 550 colones to $1.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we bought some food at the airport. It was like, I don't know, 12,000 colones or something.
Yeah, 2 burgers and a fry, and the lady goes, 12,000 something. I'm like, how is that? How much money is that in American dollars? And I think it was like $22 or something. I was
my gosh.
Okay. Yeah.
There's us and the owner, Danny, and he ran the Cuban restaurant. It was pretty good.
Yeah, very good food, and he was very good. He's quite a character. He's definitely a storyteller also, but he was very happy that we were there. Knew why we were there, but he was asking the kids and getting the kids involved. Like, tell me about this radio. How does it work? Why are you here? And stuff. And then so everybody was sharing, and Bryant was telling him that he did Morse code, and he was shocked and said, you still do Morse code? And we're like, yeah, he can send about 40 words a minute. And he goes, him? And he was pointing at him. He was impressed. Brian's got great CW skills.
Crazy good. Yeah.
Crazy good. Anyway, so we had a picture with the owner, and then you can write stuff everywhere in the restaurant, or he wants people to sign their name, so everybody signed their call sign with the YDXA 2017 there.
Oh,
and
awesome.
the kids love being handed markers and just graffiti the whole restaurant. Right. Bryant did some CW. There's some Morse code somewhere in the restaurant with his call sign, or I can't remember what Bryant wrote, but it's on there.
Mm-hmm. And I saw Bryant's comment in the chat room. The pizzas, I got a pizza, Bryant got a pizza, they were massive. And I think we got smalls or mediums, and they were still pretty decently sized.
Oh my gosh.
So there's everybody's call sign.
Yeah, that's great.
And then that's about it.
That's the group picture there with the YDXA.
That's cool.
Yeah, we had a good time. It was a fun time for everybody. And like I said, you take 3 kids or 3 different families that, we saw each other at Dayton for maybe half hour, and you put them in the house for 5 days, and you're kind of, the first 2 days we all said, oh, everybody's going to be fine, everybody's going to, trying to get along, and then you're not quite sure. But we never had an issue. Jim, AB8YK, I said before, and even in presentation, said I never had to go and say, you get on the radio. There's always a radio being manned, if not both of them. These kids did wonderful. They knew what to do. We were just there as guidelines, say, all right, what's open, and giving out ideas, but they did it all by themselves. They did a really good job.
That's awesome. Very cool.
I'm reading the comments here in the chat room, and it was really fun. Definitely enjoyed it. Want to go back.
Yeah, I think it'll be great if those people end up like renting out that place for rental DxPedition vacation place. That looks like a great location, especially when you have a good view and you don't have the fog rolling in. But
right.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys.
They have a website. It's the Costa Rican Hamlet is what it's called. So.
Oh, okay.
You can Google that. I think you can rent it out, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. If you go to Byron's call sign, Whiskey Alpha 8 November Juliet Romeo, he has it on there, the website. So if people are interested in going to the same location we were, it's certainly available.
And I'll put a link for that in the chat room here.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, guys, thanks for sharing that with us. We're going to move on. Emmett's in here, and we're going to talk about emergency communications next.
Perfect.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Bye,
Chris. Jocelyn, thanks very much. See you.
Bye.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, I think I've almost got it figured out. Well, anyway.
Great.
All right, well, hey, okay, let's see if Emmett is still around, and we'll jump to Emmett. And Katie, you're welcome to stay on, or you can hang up, whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna keep watching, but I'm gonna hang up because I need to kind of do a few things around here, but I want to see Emmett's presentation. So I'll say 73 now. Hopefully we'll see everybody in a couple of weeks on here from a remote location.
Yeah, well,
hopefully we'll be able to do something from the Stirlingham Club in Scotland. So
all right, guys, we're gonna have a special show with Katie from Scotland here in a couple weeks. Yep. So tune in. Katie's going to be in Scotland. It's going to be a great show.
Sounds good. Right. Well, thanks, Tom, and thanks, everybody in 73.
73. All right. All right, let me get Emmett on here. Let's see if Emmett is still around. I'm sure he'll be available. He's going to be in Scotland. It's going to be a great show. Hello, Emmett. Hi.
Thanks, everybody in 73.
Emmett, can you hear me? Emmett, can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, though.
Okay, I'm talking.
Can you hear me now? Speaking.
I hear you. I hear you.
Into my microphone.
Test
all I'm hearing
one.
Is wah, 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 wah,
test
wah, wah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Come on.
You switch over to the feed real quick.
No, that won't work.
Can you hear me, Tom? Shake your head yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, I can't hear you.
Okay.
On the return side.
All right, I'm going to call you back. I will call you back. Wow, isn't technology just working really great tonight? Must be the hurricane that's coming up through here. That's what it is. That's what it is. The tropical storm is to Memphis tonight. That major storm has made it into the Memphis, Tennessee area. All right, let's see if Emmett can join us. Emmett's got some kind of special secret announcement.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the beep.
Okay, we'll do it the other way.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Okay, I think I know what's wrong. Is my stereo microphone?
Oh, your voice just stopped. We lost your audio. Lost your audio. We lost your audio. Your audio is down. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. We're gonna have to use hand signals, guys, in the show. This is I can't hear you. No. Let me get Emmett in here. Let's see.
There we go. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Do you hear me?
And then I'm going to go to my speakers.
Okay.
How about now?
I hear you. Do you hear me? Oh, now I don't hear you now. Nope. I can't hear you now. Nope. No audio.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Okay.
Do you hear
I'm
me?
going to put my headphones on through my headset and see what happens.
Okay.
Try that. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay.
I hear you. I hear you. No, I don't hear you. No. All right. No. Wah. All right. Emmett makes antennas. He probably is not real efficient in Skype. He's probably not up to my level. On a 1 to 10 level, I'm at a 1.1. All right, let's see what he's going to do now. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, well, I think Emmett is tying with you right now. Emmett, talk to me, Emmett. Nope. Nothing.
Okay, how about now?
Yes, I hear you now. I hear you. Do you hear me?
There we go. I hear you now.
You hear me now? Can you hear me now? Is this a Verizon commercial or what, man?
No, what it is I step away from my computer for a couple of weeks, and the next thing you know, you turn the computer on and things don't work the way they used to, and no one's touched it, so you got to wonder, Let
me tell you, I've got a new laptop. It's got 2 jacks in the side for earphones and mic, or mic and earphones, and they both do both. And the jack that plugs in, it's got 4 or 5 connections on it, and I never can make it work. I have to use one of those USB audio devices.
Ugh, it's kind of frustrating at times, I know, but anyway, hey Tom, it's been a while, huh?
It has, and I have been waiting.
Your wonderful bride.
Well, she's not here.
She makes the show, you know that, don't you?
I know it. She's not even watching tonight. She's at a hotel up in Paducah. Hey, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I got one of these tape measures.
You're going to ask me about the loop measurements, right?
I'm going to ask you about the loop measurement. What happened?
That is specifically for the MFJ little loop antenna system that they sell.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a little. Yeah. It's what it is. It's specifically the measurements here. Let me pull that.
Yeah, I got it right here. 10. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Well, here it is. It says loop. Let's see. Let me see if I can get it up here. Here's Yep. It says 4 foot, 10 meter loop, and
yeah.
I knew that something's not quite right there. I didn't think now.
Yeah, you're correct in your observation.
Yeah.
What that was for is for the MFJ loop, and we were thinking about putting that on the label, but it just worked out that it just didn't happen, and so you got like about 5,000 tape measures that well, it's like I said, it's designed specifically as far as that loop measurement is for that MFJ loop. So you can basically either use the tape measure itself, or you can cut the wire to that length for that loop.
Wow. Now, which loop is that? Is that receive only, or is it?
No, it's receive and transmit. It'll transmit on up to 50 watts.
All right, they've got one. It's a high power version and a low power version. Is that what this is for? Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's Let me see if I can. Looks just like that.
What does?
The loop, the unit itself. Oh, there we go.
Hold it to your left.
There we go. There we go.
Okay.
See that? And then you have the two places where the loop gets connected.
Okay, gotcha.
Your coax gets connected, and then you connect a piece of PVC on the top, and then you make like a T, and you make your own loop that way.
Okay, so that's really made. It's really made to have inside the house, right? Not outside.
You can have it, yeah, definitely inside, or if you're doing like a field expedition type stuff, or an emergency where you can only do, you need to get on the air kind of a deal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, you were going to make some big surprise announcement or something. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if you want to do it now or if you want to do it later.
Well, I figured we could go into the emergency side of things real quick, because I think literally there are people listening on shortwave radio that, you know what, some of the things I do have to say might help, especially with the people that are on the highways right now going back to Florida with something like 5.5 million people without electricity. You have another 1.1 million people without electricity in Georgia. One of the things that was reported and from several people that I know personally, as they're traveling down, they're going down the different highways, and the individual the off ramps were basically blocked by either police or by the National Guard. And the reasons for that was, of course, when you've got that many people moving all at once, fuel becomes scarce quite quickly. And so what was happening is they were moving those vehicles in those places, blocking off the exits because there's no gas there anymore. And it basically relieved the problems and the congestions and the traffic jams by just blocking it off and saying, okay, look, there's no gas here. And then, of course, when the gas tankers came up, they filled up the tanks, they opened up the exit again. But what's been happening is as the migration continues to move back down to the south part of Florida, once they get into Florida, they're discovering that they still don't necessarily have gas, and they most likely will not be able to get in, especially on the southern parts of Florida, may not be able to get into their areas because they're blocked off for safety reasons. There might be something really nasty on the roads, power lines, whatever. And by blocking these areas off and cordoning these areas off, the people who, they've got property, they have a right to be there and all that, but it's for their own safety. By having all these people just show up and try and circumvent all these different things could create more problems than, basically, let's just get these major things out of the way, then open up the road, open up the city so you can now get to your house. And then, of course, a lot of the places are under curfew because of looting and all that. And a lot of the municipalities that I do know personally, they're taking very seriously anyone who's in a given area literally has to prove that they're supposed to be there. Otherwise, you're just getting arrested on the spot. It's a good thing, and you're going to probably hear some negative things about it on the news. But the reality is that's kind of the way they did it in Joplin. You go into a neighborhood and you're not supposed to be there. There's a good chance you're going to be going to jail. And that basically saves. Let's just put it this way: you gotta. When you've got something this massive, something this large, I'm just going to pull up something that I'm working on. When you got something this massive, this large, happening in such a short period of time, it's really hard for everybody to work together. And the reality is honestly, I really think, the disaster service people, the emergency service people, the police, the fire, the National Guard, even the president, FEMA of all organizations, I think, has done a fantastic job in both the disasters that we had in Houston, or not even just Houston, but Houston wasn't just the only thing that got hit. You got a whole area of the Gulf that got hit, and you're not hearing a lot about it on the news because it's not easy to get to, so the reporters don't report it. The good news is that you got a lot of ham radio operators that are still in those areas, and they're basically reporting all that information. So I guess tonight my discussion was diving in the deep end. basically, we're going to go over real quick what happened. First, we had a series of solar eruptions and geomagnetic storms. This is prior to even Texas, okay? And these solar flares and geomagnetic storms were in the areas of, X7 and so on, and they're pretty big. I mean, they're the kind of things that really, mess up things like the HF bands. And I know that there were a lot of people who were talking about, man, I just couldn't get, and of course it's on special days like expeditions and contests and so on. And then right after that, we had a hurricane in Texas, and talk about basically interesting thing that happened this time around with both hurricanes is there was a lot of early warnings. In other words, they started to evacuate certain areas of Texas or request people to leave and secure their places, and the same thing in Houston. And eventually, when things started to move, it got to the point where people couldn't evacuate. Unfortunately, a lot of people did not listen to what the governor and what the local municipalities were telling them, like, get out. There is a hurricane coming, and it's going to be nasty. And we've learned from past experiences like Katrina and so on that sometimes people stay, and we can actually lose our rescuers. We're putting at risk the people that are there to help save everybody by just having to go out and try and rescue these people because they put themselves into these positions. And I realize there are people out there that cannot, and could not get out or whatever, but those are rare. They really are. There are a lot of people just said, I've never, this has never happened. And the most dangerous attitude is, it will never happen to me. And of course, guess what? It happened to them. Then, of course, shortly after that, I was down in Florida at that time, and they had I was doing some work in Flagler County, and during the hurricane, when things just started hitting, what was really neat about a lot of the EOCs in the state of Florida is they were putting teams together to send over to the people to help out the people in Texas. And there was a lot of ham radio Aries unit groups that were that were basically banding together, and where they needed to be put, they were basically volunteering to go and help out. Which to me, I was very proud of our hobby, because we had all these people that were skilled, and they had the tools, and they had the ability to go help. And then of course we had that earthquake in Mexico. If you really think about what's been going on in the last couple months, man, it's been almost biblical in my mind what's going on. We have an earthquake in Mexico, an 8 point whatever. We didn't have any tsunamis, but that created a lot of problems in itself. Follow up that, you have some more solar activity. Now the hurricanes start to bear down on the Caribbeans, and of course North Korea decides to start playing some games. So it gets to be really, really complex really quick. And of course, Florida, this is a timeline that I pretty much came up with. And of course, now Florida decides it's time to start evacuating the Keys, and they start doing it, and they make very strong recommendations for people to leave. Now, I will tell you this: hours prior to the Keys, to the hurricane hitting the Keys, I was watching people on webcams taking pictures and selfies at the southernmost point. And I saw even a couple of them where they got washed. They literally got hit by a big wave that went over that crested the breaker. And I'm thinking, those are the people that will be calling, 911 wanting to be rescued, because, that surge, which really did happen, will probably engulf the building that they're in. And to me, it was sad and it was scary at the same time. Then, of course, follow that with some more geomagnetic storms and some more blackouts, radio blackouts. And I mean, quite a few ham radio operators being, an antenna manufacturer. I can almost tell you to the minute when, we have some solar storms, we have geomagnetic disruptions, we have whatever that basically disrupts the HF spectrum, because we start getting all these calls about, I was on my radio and everything was working fine, then all of a sudden it went away. And the reality is we then have to explain to them, we're right in the middle of a geomagnetic storm, and they've never heard of it. And not every ham does understand that, and that's okay. But we get that one opportunity to help people, to teach them, or to give them a quick lesson on what to expect. And so anyway, now the Florida itself, as in the southern part of Florida, starts what's called a staggered evacuation. There's a lot of emergency service managers could see what the writing on the wall, but they could not, in all honesty, tell everyone to leave all at once because it would have been a big mess. So what basically happened is they started, to evacuate the areas that would be affected first, and then shortly after that they started evacuating the other areas, and then they started moving up north, till I forget exactly where it pretty much ended. And then of course the whole state of Florida became part of the watch, and suggested a lot of the possible areas where people could be affected to have them evacuate. So you had millions of people evacuating all at once. This is something that doesn't really happen. I don't think I've ever been in an environment in my life where I've seen so much happen at once, and have it happen the way it did, and at such a large scale. So most of these emergency planners, they've planned on their local events. They've planned on, some major events, but nothing on a scale like this where you're looking at moving an entire population to one area of the country and then moving them back. It's never going to go well. It's never going to be easy. So it's the whole thing is you have to learn to be patient and be friendly and try and help your neighbor along the way. So anyway, Florida gets hit by the huge not solar flare, but let me pull up a couple of pictures. I want to go ahead and share that with you. See if I can find out how to do that. Full screen. Let's go to how do I share? Oh, there it is. The plus key. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna send a contact. Share my screen. Okay, I'm gonna share this screen right here. Okay, so you're gonna get to see yourself, everybody, for just a second. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull up some pictures too. And I know nothing is complete. This is the kind of stuff that we were looking at, where you've got literally almost the entire state is under some kind of watch, under heavy winds, heavy rains. You can see over here where you have the green areas. This is flooding. The red is tornadoes. Something like in the Titusville area alone, 60 tornadoes. And one of the tornadoes that they tracked was literally moving at 90 miles an hour. You're not getting away from that one. And of course, up in the Ocala, Port Orange, Daytona Beach area, they had quite a few tornadoes as well. And the tornadoes were basically all in this area, as you can see on the screen, which is over in the Titusville, Melbourne. Used to live in Melbourne. As a matter of fact, I used to have two houses in Melbourne. We used to live on A1A. Both of those houses are gone. They were eaten by another hurricane at another time. Okay, so that's one picture. And one of the things that was really scary about all of that was, let me see if I can pull up this other picture. I'm going to pull up the wind map that I had. Oh, come on, you silly thing. Oops, I'm on the wrong pictures. There we go. Where'd it go? Camera uploads. There we go. Okay, this is a wind map. Okay, okay, you can see these winds right here up at Palm Coast is like 26 miles an hour, but down here in these areas, you were looking at winds at times of, topping 150 miles an hour. It would go back down in average around 65, 70, 80 miles an hour. But when you have winds, I mean, look at this, folks. It's the entire state that's under these severe winds. You just don't get away from that. You can't run from it. So what it really all boils down to is that, and what are the lessons that we can learn? Well, number one, I'll stop sharing. One of the things that we can learn from all of this is that, one, I'm proud to be a ham radio operator. I'm proud to be involved in the organizations that I'm involved in. I would suggest very strongly, especially when I'm listening to a couple different nets and I'm listening to some things on Facebook and all that where they're looking for ham radio operators and so on. The number one thing that I think we can do in the future to make things work even better to help is that we do become involved in these other organizations, such as, let's say ARES is the number one thing. It's just part of the ARRL, and you get some really good training to teach you to help to be prepared, how the incident command system works, gets you in a situation and in a position to where when something does happen, you can you're already part of a group. You're not going in as the Lone Ranger. And there was a lot of that happened in a couple situations. And it's not embarrassing, but it could cause some problems because as a team, an emergency manager, an incident commander will have a better idea of who you are based on what your credentials are and so on. And he can better deploy you and use you because of what he knows your training is. And that's the whole idea behind this whole system that we have set up nationwide. Another excellent group that I personally belong to is the Salvation Army. Get involved in your local canteens. And they go out when there are major incidences all the time, like fires and so on, and they set up a canteen and they help feed the fire department. They help take care of the victims and so on. They set up what they call core centers, which turn out to be disaster centers where people can be, housed and fed and so on. The Red Cross, become part of the Red Cross. It don't always rely on what the press says about it, but these different organizations, by becoming involved in these organizations, you become part of the solution and not part of the problem. Another thing, and I've been living by this forever, and Katie, who knows me quite well, knows that, she saw what we brought up for the, we spent our field day up there with Dwayne and Katie, and I'll tell you what, those guys are so nice. Oh my goodness, it was a beautiful place. The temperatures, we're talking, sweltering hot, high humidity here in Missouri, and we go up to Wyoming. It's 48 degrees at night. And we're wearing coats to keep warm, which was kind of cool. Have a real go kit that you could really use. The go kit that I use, I have several of them actually. Depends on the situation, but they're ready to go, and I'm using them all the time. I don't just put them in a box and say, okay, I'll look at the manual when it's time to use it, because unfortunately, when the disaster strikes, you don't have time. You need to practice to the point where everything you're doing is reflex. Sometimes people will watch me when I'm doing, like, setting up a hex beam during, one of the shows. Man, you put that together fast. Well, when you've done it 100 times, it happens quite fast. But the reality is, it becomes reflex. And one of the things in the military that we were always trained is, you do it once, you do it again, you do it 100 times. You do it to the point where you can do it with your eyes closed. The reason being is that it becomes a reflex and everything's ready and available for you. Practice your plans, dress rehearsals. A lot of organizations like to do, this is our emergency exercise, yada, yada, yada. Those are good rehearsals. It's a good way of figuring out and tweaking and finding, what's my weak spot? What can I plan on? Okay. But the reality is sometimes we need to plan for the worst. And sometimes we really do need to be spontaneous in our training. And our training can be individual training as well, where, okay, today is the day, I'm just going to grab something, I'm going to go set it up out in the garage, I'm going to run off a battery, I'm going to make sure that all this stuff is working, I'm going to make sure the right cables are at the right place at the right time, and keep doing it until it feels right. And then you never know when a disaster is going to strike, so, practice like it's for real. That's important. A couple of the resources that we've been that we like to use is there's one of the things you're definitely going to need is power. Okay, we all need power. One of the big things that we heard about during the hurricane and what's going on right now, people do not have power. And if they don't have power, in many cases, they don't have the ability to cook. They don't have the ability to run the radios. I've been in contact with some people till their power ran out, as in the batteries in their phones, that they don't have electricity, and they're not going to have electricity for a couple weeks. But I know other people that have electricity. They're running solar power, they're running wind power, and they've been practicing off and on. A good example is the Lee family. I think Tom, James Lee and his kids. Mm-hmm. They actually made it. I won't say it's not a game. But the thing is, they rehearsed so much that when the disaster did strike, it was scary, but they knew what to do. And so the stresses of having to cook a meal, having to be in contact with someone, having to do the things that you need to do to survive or to get back on the air or whatever. Just a second, I'm trying to pull up some more pictures for you. Where'd it go? Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. They were able to, darn it. Sorry, I got to do this real quick. Too many buttons all at once. There we go. Share my screen. I know this is really becoming a monologue. Sorry, Tom. Okay. We're trying to get a lot in a short time, aren't we? Okay, let me pull that up. Okay, for instance, this is an example of one of my setups that you saw. Some people who were at Stone Mountain saw it. We used a similar configuration when we were in Dry Tortuga. And what you're seeing is you see our hex beam, which is very lightweight, was easy to set up. The other thing that we've got over there on the right-hand side is a windmill or wind generator, and in this case, it's a 9-blade wind generator from a company called Missouri Wind and Solar. And just for your reference, Alex from Missouri Wind and Solar is in the chat room right now, and he's I asked him to kind of be out there in the background. He's very interested in ham radio too. They're based in Missouri. They make some really good. It's American made. It's American design. They have a passion for the product, and I think one of the reasons why I like them as a company is when you call them, one, they answer the phone. Two, they walk you through what you're doing, and they make suggestions. And it's not suggestions to upsell you. Sometimes they downsell you because this isn't what you really need. This is probably what you need most. So it's been very helpful. They don't just do the wind generators, the wind turbines. Interesting thing about this little wind turbine, we took this to Dry Tortuga. When I first tested it, I just had a simple box fan that I put in front of it, and it started spinning. This thing starts spinning at 6 miles an hour. It starts producing electricity around 10 miles an hour. When we were in Dry Tortuga, that wind generator was running the entire time, and I believe strongly that it was a key factor as to why we were able to stay for 4 days on an island with just solar power and wind. And with that thing running overnight, charging batteries, and during the day charging batteries, and then during the day adding the solar panels, that really was helpful. And the reason why I bring up something like a wind generator like this little wind generator only took us about 30 minutes to assemble and put together and put back and basically put online. What was nice about that is I put it in a nice little, not a Pelican case, but one of those Plano cases you can get at Walmart for $20 or $30, and I still keep it in the case. And I literally have done it on a regular basis. I'll pull it out, I'll put it together, I'll check things out, I'll let it run for a day, and then I'll put it away again. Alex, say hi real quick if you're there. There you go.
I'll see Alex in the chat room. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and take you to their website too. Okay, the website is, let me pull it up here, full speed. It's MWANDS.com. I'm not doing this as an advertisement, but I am doing it as a resource so that people can see. They've got everything from the wind generators to solar panels, charge controllers. What's really neat is they've got a really cool line of charge controllers. They've got some things like if you need hot water. A lot of people don't think about this, but a lot of these charge controllers that tell you to go hook up another light, like a heavy duty light or whatever, they've got these really neat 12 volt. Let me see if I can find it. These 12-volt heating elements that you can put in like a water tank, and you can have hot water. You can literally heat your water as the batteries get charged, which is really nice too. So anyway, who's that? Oh, anyway, that's kind of the way. I mean, trying to find my way around this world again. Forgive me. Okay, where's my Skype?
Do you see a plus?
There we go. I was just trying to find my main screen so I could stop sharing for a few minutes. But the big thing is that I know I've abbreviated a whole lot here because I was planning on spending a little bit. Yes, 1,600 watts is one heck of a generator. And the reality is about 20 or 30 mile an hour winds will get you that power. That is the same model that we used in Dry Tortuga. I pull that picture up.
That's a pretty hefty wind generator, 1,600 watts.
Yeah, that's what I have. Is the one that it wasn't that heavy. Let me go back to sharing again. It wasn't that heavy. It Well, it's about 30, 40 pounds, I think it is.
You know, the blades on it look strange to me. They look kind of like that I see on these Russian aircraft.
Yeah, they're carbon fiber. Let me see if I can find that picture. Oh, darn it. It's the wrong darn. There. You don't want to see all my other personal... Oh, what in the world? Sorry.
I just saw your password.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is.
It's PASSWRD.
Password. Okay. Try Tortuga. Where'd you go? Oh, that's where it is. Okay, this was our setup in Dry Tortuga. Right over here is a competitor. What we did is I bought this one, and one of our other members bought this one. He got this one off of Amazon for about the same price as I paid for this. After about 10 hours of use, this unit failed.
It looks so much smaller.
And it is. It produced maybe about an amp of energy at any given time, whereas this one during the evening would be peaking at about 10 plus amps with about a 10 to 12 mile an hour wind. And of course, you see the hex beam over there, and you see the national parks on the air. That's my son HJ right there. That's Mr. Tim Lemon. He's being the Morse code fiend that he is. He's one of those guys that he gets so into the zone when it comes to doing code. But the neat thing about it is you can see. Let me zoom in a little bit more. This is actually a 360 degree picture. You know, we're not that up that high, and what was nice is we had 1, 2, 3 100 amp hour batteries. We had the solar panel, and then we had a rollout solar panel. And this little solar panel I got from Missouri Wind and Power. This was back about a year or so ago, and it's basically I think it's 100 watt. Yeah, it's their 100 watt version. It really did produce the energy that we wanted during the day, and it helped out a lot. So anyway, there's that. Let's go back to a couple other things, and one of the other things I wanted to talk about too is that give you an idea of how small. Here we go. Just waiting for it to come up here. This is everything prior to setting up. The wind generator is I think in this case, right there. That was the wind generator from Amazon. And then we had the radios, and then we had the poles and all that. And it was it was an adventure, to say the least. There's our good friend right there, and we're taking a break. It's I can't remember if this was sunrise or this is sunrise in Dry Tortuga, and you can see everything all up and operational. But interesting thing about doing an expedition like this is it's almost like practicing for that disaster that that we know will probably happen, but we pray to God it doesn't. And by doing things like this, you become experienced in preparation. You become experienced in the little skills you need to learn, so that way when you have to do it for yourself, your family, or your friends, you're able to do it. And I strongly stress that we start looking at alternate means. We've lived for a couple generations now totally reliant and believing that we have an electrical system in place right now that will always be there. And then what happens when electricity goes away for just a day, or let's just say 2 days? And now we're looking at people who are going to be without electricity for weeks. Things that we need to be prepared for, things that we need to think about along the way. I just want to show one more picture here. If I can find it. This is a good friend of mine, Rica DeLuca. And this is just before stuff really started to hit. Okay, see how much water he's got right there in the road? By the way, these rocks are 6 inches tall, and it's underwater by about 2 inches. And this is before everything started to hit. And then the one thing that I was very happy about, and please forgive me, everybody, but this is one of our scouts, and it was up in the air for the entire thing, and it survived. We're talking at times winds at least 100-something miles an hour. The thing is it was like I knew something was going to hit it, and apparently nothing hit it, but it withstood the wind, which was one of those things that I was very excited about and very happy to know that that our radio wave scout survived the hurricane in Titusville, Florida, and they also had not just hurricanes, but they had tornadoes, and that was pretty scary, Tom. I don't know about you. You've got not only you have hurricane force winds, couple that with tornadoes. This is like stuff that you see in the movies. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, not even what movie was that a while back ago? The Storm Chaser could have dreamed something like that up.
Twister.
Yeah, Twister. Oh, by the way, I got a picture of Katie in the morning.
All right.
Sorry, Katie. I know she's gonna kill me, isn't she? Anyway, just popping back over to. I know we're bouncing back and forth here, but this is a shot of the hex beam in Wyoming sky at night. I literally had to go out and do my business because we were sleeping in the tent over here, and the sky was so spectacular. I just had to pull my camera out and take a picture of everything. It was unbelievable. But let's see, where else were we going? Hey, we got an announcement, don't we?
I guess.
Or do we have any questions? I haven't been able to see the chat room because I've been so busy talking.
One question in the chat room was, does the generator cause any interference to the radios?
It depends on the generator itself, as in the alternator, the wind generator, and that's Alex. Yeah, it did not create interference in the sense that we had it away from the hex beam. It in the Stone Mountain, we had everything kind of close together, but you could see we had it separated by about 10-15 feet. It didn't create any alternator noise, which would be a sign that we have bad brushes or something. And because those are fixed magnet type systems, it doesn't have the noise that the brush type systems have. So that's a very nice thing to have. And by the way, the other system did make noise. It whined like crazy. As a matter of fact, you saw how far away it was from the antenna. We had to keep moving it away because it just kept whining. Every time it spun up, it would create this high frequency pitch on all our frequencies. But anyway, that was a good question. And yes, we've done it. And the big thing was between the batteries, the solar panels, and the wind generator, we were able to keep things running. Now, I've done this on my own at the house, where I pop up the wind generator. I'll run some solar panels. I'll run several things that I know I'm going to need if I'm in a disaster, like lights, basic radio, some small cooling, those little coolers that you can buy now that actually have a refrigerator built into it. That's one little thing that we have. So that way, if the electricity is off, it stays cool, which is a nice thing to have too. Now, do we have any other questions? Any other major things that we want to talk about on the emergency services? I know this is really abbreviated from what I was planning, but I think maybe we could do a real deep dive, step-by-step PowerPoint sometime if you want to. Plus, I do have a whole thing on getting ready for the season. If you want, I can come back next week for that.
Yeah, we'll do that in another show since it's about 9:27 or so, 9:30.
Okay, so I guess it's time for the announcement.
Yeah, what's the announcement? And what's going on?
What's going on? I know you're really curious. Everyone's been kind of like, Emmett, what's going on? Well, just recently, can you go ahead and put me on there?
You're on.
Oh, okay.
Just recently, you want to close the other screen, but I've got you on.
How do I close the other screen?
They hit the plus, and then tell it to stop sharing.
No, I want to share. That's just.
You want to share? Okay. Put that back on. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
For the longest time, a lot of people have seen me with a really good friend of mine, Mike Lee. He was the COM L for Flagler County, Florida. He was the main man behind this little red van called MCOM 1, which you've probably seen at Dayton if you're there. You've also seen it if you've been at a lot of these different shows. We teamed up with him, obviously providing the antenna systems, and you can also see here's the wind generator.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
We also have a 15 kilowatt diesel generator there. But we teamed up with them. We also teamed up with ICOM, and we helped put together this van. Basically, Mike put it together. He financed it. He put everything together, and you can see this nice 30-foot mast, which is really nice. I like it a lot. So anyway, we basically worked out. How do I say this? Mike basically had to go out of town for a while. For a couple of years anyway. He's got a project that he's working on, and it requires his attention. And so basically,
it wasn't the witness protection program, was it?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. It's a technical project that he's very good at and requires him to do hands-on work. So it basically pulled him out of the picture. And so what basically happened is I now own MCOM-1.
Cool.
It's not just a van. It's not just a pretty truck. The function of this vehicle is for emergency management. It's designed specifically to be super portable. You can see where we have the NVIS antenna. And I've literally been checked in on the Maritime Mobile Net with this unit right here while we've been mobile, which is really nice. This is the inside of the van. This van itself is not designed to have a bunch of people in it. It's really designed to be, this is where the radios go, and then we have these remote, well, they're telephones effectively, that get assigned to all the different radios. So that way you can basically have set up it's a system designed for interoperability, designed to where it has, basically some of your amateur radios there. Let's see if I can find a couple other pictures. And you've also got, your land mobile, which would be fire, police, state, federal, and so on. We'd program, we've got them programmed in with their local frequencies. The van itself has its own 110-watt repeater system built into it. That's frequency agile P25 type repeater, so it's not even like any of our amateur repeaters. It is a commercial repeater effectively, and the whole concept of this vehicle is that in an emergency, especially with the smaller municipalities that cannot afford the big, expensive 800 megahertz trunking systems and so on, we can roll this platform in and basically allow the local municipalities like fire, police, towing, allow them to talk to the State Highway Patrol, the federal people, the FAA. We've even got some aviation band radios in there. We've even got a satellite phone system in there. We even have satellite data system in there, which this is really cool. And one of the things that you're going to start seeing is when we start doing a lot of these shows. There's Zoe. It was kind of funny. We just get back from Florida, bringing the thing in, and she goes there and she would not get out of the van. It's like, I'm ready to work. If you're interested in finding a little bit more out about what MCOM-1 is and what it does, can everyone see that information right there? I can't.
Kind of small.
See if I can make it bigger.
Kind of small. You can copy and paste it in the chat room.
Okay. Let me do that. I'll do that in a few seconds, I guess, when it stops not responding. But anyway, the big news is that we're basically, this is our pride and joy. It's not a RadioWavz product. This is still the idea of the project itself is that it's a emergency management interoperability platform that can be rolled in to just about any disaster and help in the help on the communication side with a very, very small footprint. The other thing about this vehicle too is it's designed that it can be carried. Look at that. It can be carried on an aircraft. So this has already been flown a couple times to different locations, where basically we just fly it on. We just drive it onto the aircraft. They tie it down. They fly us to the location. We back the thing out, put fuel in it, and we're ready to go. So anyway, that's and we'll be bringing it with us, especially for those of you who are in Milwaukee. We're going to be this will be at the HRO open house, and we'll also have this nice little mast system up and running and deployed, which is nice. It's a 30-foot tower, crank-up tower, and we put the hex beam on it with a 2-meter 440 antenna, or we'll just put the the repeater antenna on top of the hex beam. It makes for quite a nice system. And
okay, so will you be? Are you going to come to the MFJ 45th anniversary?
No.
Okay.
We've got other plans for that time.
Okay.
So
cool.
Unfortunately, we would like to, but we had other plans. As a matter of fact, we did have plans to go on vacation, kind of like Katie, but not with Katie. Mm-hmm. That'd have been interesting. Anyway, we were planning on going up to New Hampshire to visit my daughter, but just timing didn't work out properly. And by the way, this is another view of MCOM 1 at IWCE, which was really a cool show. And this is the hex beam that we put on top.
Was that out? That's out in California.
This was out in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Oh, Las Vegas.
Yep.
Now did he drive that all the way out there?
Yes, he did. As a matter of fact, I met them in Amarillo, Texas. I drove down through Oklahoma, and we met up in Amarillo, and we drove out the rest of the way. And that was quite a trip. And they'd already been on the road for a day or so. And anyway, so here you go. You've got the 2-meter antenna, the 2-meter 440 antenna. Mm-hmm. You have the hex beam, and this is this is actually the commercial version of it. So it's built differently than your normal hex beams. There are no tools involved in putting this together. It's all thumb screws and wing nuts. It also has what we call a broadband element right here, which will allow you to listen to and even work on 160 through, I think it's 2 meters even. The thing is it works like a pennant type dipole or rotatable dipole. It's broadband, so don't expect a lot out of it, but it allows you to do some pretty heavy duty frequency agile stuff, especially when you're doing some ALE type work. You're doing, some encrypted type stuff that the military and the government likes to use a lot. That's all there. And then this other antenna right here is one of our folded terminated dipoles, and it's actually configured in the half. It's basically an infed now. It's in the infed configuration sloper. So that way we just literally have one half of the antenna up, but it still works. You put your coax there and you're able to communicate. And that was kind of a fun show. We enjoyed being there. MCOM 1 is constantly being developed for more applications. One of the other applications that we're looking at is some of the fires that are going on in Colorado and so on. In the state of Missouri, in the event of certain emergencies, we're currently working on getting it integrated into the emergency operations plan with the different EOCs and so on. But understand this, I'm a ham radio operator, okay? Mm-hmm. And we've got ham radio stuff in there. And we've got it set up so that way people who are part of ARES, part of emergency services organizations can participate and be productive and become part of the solution instead of, yes, sometimes we do need heroes. And that's generally the time we need heroes or when plans fail. But the thing is be part of the solution so that way we don't need the heroes, because you are the hero because you were there in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Well, anyway, I wasn't able to see any of our questions. How's my grandson doing? Emmett is, not Emmett, but Barrett's doing fine. He just had a surgery, I think it was 3 or 4 months ago, where they put some more stents in. The good news is he's on schedule for his next major surgery, which is in about a year, where they're going to continue to move the arteries from one side of his heart to the other side of his heart. And he is, how do I say this, one of the most resilient kids I've ever met. And having a grandson like him really changes the way you look at things, especially when you see a little guy like that in the way he is. And he's not a brat. He's got his issues, but he's not a brat. And he's fun to be with, and we enjoy every moment we have with him because we don't know, anyway, I don't want to get into that. But we enjoy every moment we have, and it teaches us to as a family to enjoy every moment that we have with each other as well.
Well, good.
Let's see. Do you need a heavy tower? No, Terry, you don't need that really heavy tower. The reason why we use that is because it's a nice crank up. We've used some push-up poles. As a matter of fact, you saw in Dry Tortuga, we were just using 1.5-inch EMT up 25 feet, and it worked just fine. Let's see. Oh, by the way, the other part was Gamber Johnson. I forgot. Didn't put that in there. You saw a lot of those radio mounts, the console in the front. Let me see if I got a picture of that. I know I do. Oh, there we go. Right there. I should share again, shouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
More time, and then I think everyone's about ready to fall asleep on us. What do you think, Tom?
Oh, they're hanging in there pretty good.
It gets to be quite interesting. I really enjoy the show, Tom. I really do. You have an excellent audience. You're a delightful host.
Well, someone said on the show, on the chat room the other day, is they felt like everybody was family on the show here.
Yeah. There you go. And that's what the front end looks like. A really nice that for your laptop or your iPad or whatever. And then we've got the whole console down below. I thought I had a picture of that. Here, let me do this. I'll go ahead and put. I'm going to put this link in the chat room real quick. There you go. And this has a lot more of a description on what the what MCOM 1 is capable of doing. It's a very unique system. I'm proud to be part of it. I'm not doing this by myself. ICOM, even RadioWavz, we're not giving things to the project. Everything has been paid for, so it's not it's not one of these things where it's you'll see it as a how do I say it? You'll see it premier products, yes, but for the most part, it can I have $50, Dad? Sure. Anyway, yeah, I'm an ATM. But the thing is it's a project that is very useful and very helpful, and we're going to continue on with it. A good friend of mine in Colorado that is, let's just say, the other half of the team. He's the one that you'll see sometimes at some of these shows too, because he'll fly in here or I'll fly in there, or we'll just drive the vehicle to where it needs to go. So, any other questions that anyone has? Let's see. Have your Scout antennas up and running? Oh, okay. Hi, Mike. Yeah, those are great. The thing I've really been having fun with the Scout was when we added that 40-meter element. It kind of changed a lot of things for a lot of people, and especially when it's in such a small space. I got some people in Texas with these huge roofs. They put the thing in their attic, and that's all they needed, which was nice. So let's see the website. If you need to, if you want to see some YouTube videos, there's some YouTube videos. If you go through ICOM America, if you go to the MikeLee911.com site, there's a couple links that go to videos that walk you through the vehicle itself. A lot of those photographs are photographs I took along the way when we were going to Las Vegas. Beautiful places to go. Literally, we got stopped by a sheriff along the way. And interesting thing with this vehicle is we do get stopped a lot, and it's not to give us a ticket; it's because they want to look inside, and it's kind of cool. This is the first time I've been pulled over where, do you have this? And I go, yeah, it's back here. You want to see it? And then we end up going to the jail and and show the sheriff and stuff like that. So it's been kind of a unique situation and experience for me, especially you get pulled over a state highway patrol and they start asking you about trunking systems and so on, and we're looking at doing this or doing that, and it gets to be fun.
Well, we're gonna start watching for you on live PD.
That'll be interesting. It may not be just me, because like I said, we're putting together a team of people, and a lot of times, especially with certain municipalities, there will be key members from that municipality that will be working with the vehicle directly. And like I said, it's going to be a resource that the smaller smaller towns and municipalities can use. They don't have to. They're not buying it, but they will end up, like paying for gas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's a small price to pay for having a platform that allows them to do a lot more than they've ever really been able to do.
Well, all right, Emmett, thanks a lot for sharing that with us tonight, and we will get together again in a few weeks and maybe hit on some of those subjects that we didn't get to cover tonight.
You bet. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And Tom, as usual, I really enjoyed the show. I really appreciate your heart when it comes to putting this thing together. And I know it's a lot of work, Tom. I really do. And my hat's off to you every time, especially when I see you out at some of these shows. I know your setup is at times can be crazy, getting it set up, getting things working, and just all the technical issues you have to go through just to get on the air. And that shows a lot of dedication, a lot of love for the community. And I personally wanted to thank you and recognize you for all that.
Well, it's been fun. I thank you for those kind words. And let's see, in February, the weekly show will have been on 3 years now. We've been webcasting for about 15 years, but the weekly show, Amateur Radio Roundtable, will hit its 3-year birthday this coming February. I'm hoping, that at some point others will join, and maybe this show can continue on, and 5-10 years down the road. I might not be able to do it that long, but I'd like to see the show go, continue if we can find people that are interested in continuing with it,
Well, you had Marty. That was a good start.
Yeah, he's a little busy right now, and of course he's got college coming up and all that. So
he makes me nervous. Just watching him, it's like, dang, Marty, you're doing all this and you're still talking. But yeah, there are people out there. I mean, Chris is a good one. He's a good young buck. Could be trained to run some of these things. He's energetic and he's very intelligent.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we're not going to have a hangout tonight because we ran a little late, so no hangout tonight.
Just a little. But hey, Tom, well, I guess we'll talk after the show. But when you're ready for me to come back on again with, we can do a step-by-step preparedness type thing, getting ready, what to do before the storm, what to do after the storm, and then of course we got all the seasonal stuff coming up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you think about, I just ended up doing some work down in Florida, and what's really funny is it's no longer there because of the hurricane. I got pictures of a station that I was working on that hadn't been touched in something like 10 years or 5 years, I can't remember. And because everything worked until we started trying to get things out of the trees. And then you'll see some really cool pictures, but that's for another time.
All right. I'm about ready to go get a peanut butter sandwich, sit back and maybe watch a little TV.
All right, you have a great one, and hey, thanks for having Jocelyn and them on.
Yeah,
they're great. They're good people. I expect a lot of things from Chris and that family. So, all right, thanks a lot, Tom. You have a good one. 7-3.
All right.
And 88s to all the young ladies out there. So,
all right, we'll see you. Good night. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's going to be about the show for tonight. We went really late tonight, so we're not going to do hangout tonight. I mean, hangout's there if you guys want to get in there and talk to each other. That's fine, but we're going to go ahead and shut the webcast down tonight. We've been on a couple hours now. Hey, I wanted to say hello to Walter tonight. Walter, KJ4UCE, my friend Walter Rook, that sits in here a lot of nights and helps us, especially when Kathy's gone. Walter would have been here tonight, but he's on standby, and they called him into the the flight area, and he had to sit out at the flight area until 11 o'clock tonight in case they wanted him to fly a plane somewhere. So he was going to try to watch us on the tablet tonight. I don't know if Walter is still in there or if Walter is still watching. I don't see him offhand there, so he's probably already gone. And Walter ordered a Comet CAA 500 antenna analyzer. It's supposed to be delivered today. I know he's excited about getting that. Good night to everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We got some good shows coming up in the next week or two. We're gonna have a show from Scotland with Katie at a ham club in Scotland. We've got I think next week we're gonna have the Ham Radio Deluxe people on, talking about all the things Ham Radio Deluxe will do. We're gonna have another show coming up real soon. It's gonna be with the SDR Play people. We're going to have their developers from the UK and also their tech support people all on. We'll probably devote one night to SDR receivers. That's going to be kind of cool. I got my signal linked. Maybe this week I'll be playing a little with that. I got my SDR Play. I'm going to try to play with that. A lot going on. 73 to everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we will see you next Tuesday. Thanks. Okay, so to John's in there, KC7DRI. KC7DRI, I was about to throw the big switch, but guess what? He missed shack photos because we snuck them in at the middle of the show. So we're going to go through shack photos again here, guys. Look at this. Here we go. John Hyatt, KC7DRI. And there he is, Elecraft KX3, HF through 6 meters. Got him some Radio Shack 2 meter mobiles there, some handy talkies. The Astron VS35M power supply. It's a nice power supply he's got there. That's John Hyatt. He's in the chat room right now. Everybody say hi to John. And then again, in case you guys were looking for it, there's a picture of Sean McKee. Sean McKee. Don't have his call, don't have his location, but he just passed his general there on September the 9th, just 3 days ago. He's got a TM4100 there. And look at that power supply. That's an Astron RS50M. I guess that's the 50 amp power supply. It's a pretty big power supply. So there we are. Thanks again to all of our guests tonight, and we will we'll see you guys a little later, and we'll just hey, and we're going to be doing a show too. We're going to be doing a show soon. The end of the month, let me tell you, this is going to be special. End of the month, I'm going down to be with Martin Jew, and I'm going to do some video in every one of his companies. We're going to do a tour, a 5-minute tour on every one of the companies, and see how they do everything. And then that Tuesday night after the weekend, somewhere around October, somewhere around October the 1st, we're going to have the show. We're going to have our special guest Martin Jew on here with us, and we're going to go through each of his companies, and we're going to show you all about MFJ and all the other companies there. So that's going to be, we've got some exciting shows lined up the next 3 or 4 weeks. Good night to everybody, and we will see you later.